Hello and welcome to TAO. We are starting with Communication Systems first lecture, that is Introduction to Communication System. The course book which we are following is Modern Digital and Analog Communication by BP Lathi. Starting off with the block diagram of communication system, you can see six main blocks that are input transducer, transmitter, channel, receiver, output transducer, noise and distortion. So what happens when two persons want to communicate with each other? So the first one sitting over here would send a message. The message may be text, image, voice or of any other type. The first block here is the input transducer. So what a transducer do is to take any sort of input that maybe of any of these and convert it into form of the signal, electrical signal. So the input message is converted into the input signal. Next is the transmitter. The transmitter simply takes the input signal and provide a path to the channel and send it through the channel to the receiver. So the transmitted signal is the signal that transmitter sent to the channel. The channel here can be guided or unguided. By guided I means that could be connected through wire like optical fibers or coaxial cables, or by unguided I mean to say that through radio waves or microwaves, such sort of connections. The transmitter here may be microphone, camera, or any voice recorder, or even your mobile phone. So now the thing that came to play is noise and distortion. Without noise and distortion, this communication system is the ideal one, but this cannot be achieved. How? I will tell you within a few seconds. So coming to the next block, that is the receiver, that do the same thing as does the transmitter, except it receives the signal and it sends the signal. So now the channel send the signal to the receiver and it is received and forwarded to the output transducer. Here the output transducer reverse its function and provide the message that was sent by this user to this user from the output signal that was changed. The output signal must be same here and here for ideal communication, that must be noted. Now what happens when noise and distortion came into play? Assume that there is some sort of noise in the channel that disturbs this transmitted signal. For example, the transmitted signal was sent like this, but due to noise after the channel, when it is received here at the receiver, it becomes something like this. So what happens when the output transducer convert it to the message? It would not be the same that is sent. For example, here the user sent hello, it may have turned into hi or something like that. That could be anything. So the main purpose is to that the noise and distortion affected the channel through adding extra levels to the input signal. Okay, so now I will tell you another point of view of this communication system that may illustrate it more accurately. So here we have a transmitter and a receiver. There may be a person sitting over here and one over here. So the one is transmitting to the other and they are communicating through the channel. The channel here may be wired or unwired, as I have told earlier. So let's say here the transmitter is a person that is saying hello to the fellow sitting over here. For ideal communication, we want that the hello that is sent through the transmitter must pass through the channel and must be received here as hello, so that this person receives what this person is saying. You get that? What is the main objective of communication? That we want reliable communication. So for that purpose, the hello is called information and it's sent to the few blocks. The first one is the analog to digital converter. So what it do is that here we have an analog signal that is hello. For example, it looks like this. The analog to digital converter would convert this signal into digital discrete levels. For example, it would look like this. Now, what is the advantage of doing this is that for communication we often use digital signals because they are more reliable and are easy to convert back here, because they are somewhat immune to noise. Even if there is a little bit addition of noise over here, the discrete level would remain the same. That would enable the transmission system to overcome the effect of noise and distortion. So the digital system signal is sent. Later it is encoded. Encoded means to represent in the form of streams of bits. Let's say this signal is represented by 10101. Now after this encoding, it is modulated. The signal modulation is the main step through which we can communicate, because without modulation it is very difficult, even impossible, to communicate over a relatively longer distance. So what modulation do is, for example, you have a message signal and you have a carrier wave that is a very high frequency wave. So what you do is to modulate this signal on the carrier and send them together like this. The modulation is of many different ways that we'll study later, but for example we talk of frequency modulation. So it would send the positive value or higher value with more frequency and lower value with less frequency, and then negative higher value with more frequency, and so on. So this signal would be modulated and sent through the channel over here. This channel will pass the modulated signal to the block over here that would demodulate, that would extract this message signal from this modulated signal. Then it would be decoded. Decoding means to extract this thing from this thing. So what we should have over here should be 10101. This must be received for us to have a reliable communication. So the digital to analog converter, what does it do is to convert these discrete levels into analog signal. So this is the analog signal that was sent, so it is recovered here as a digital signal. Then in the next step we'll have our analog signal back, and this is the information that was sent, and the user here would hear a hello. Now what it'll do, it would resend, it would become a transmitter, and this would become a receiver, and they'll start communicating via this path. So this was the general idea about communication system. Hope you like it. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.